think sometimes people read about it in global development literature, but they don't quite understand the clean cook stove, movement. So could you just kind of tell me a big picture?
Maybe the best way to describe it is just to give a story, where, you should imagine sort of in the developing world, anywhere in the developing world, a rural community, a woman often gets up at 4 or 5 in the morning, because she has to go walk quite some distances to collect the wood that she uses as fuel to prepare the meal for her family. And so often as she's collecting more and more wood and there's deforestation around her home, she has to walk further and further away. So sometimes you have women walking 3-4 miles a day. Early in the morning, it's still dark, sort of putting themselves in fairly vulnerable situations to get that fuel for their food. And what they come back and cook over an open fire. So the fumes from that open fire, are not just, irritating to the eyes, but very harmful to the lungs. And in fact, a recent study shows that there are 4 million deaths a year that result from exposure to cook stove smoke.
Is it an environmental issue as well?
It is. It's an environmental issue in a few different ways. So one, the soot, and the smoke actually lands as black carbon, and on various, peaks and ice caps around the world, leading to ozone depletion as well. So it is a contributor to climate and environmental factors. It also, as I talked about in that example, women use wood, so they go out there and chop, branches, etc. So that causes deforestation. And there's an interesting link there also with food security, because when you have increasing amounts of deforestation, you have less productive land. And when you have less productive land, then you don't have as much food that's grown, in those communities as well. So it's a health risk, it's an environmental risk, and of course it's an issue that impacts women directly. So if they could have a cleaner, more efficient stove, it's their safety that they have back, it's hours, of the day that's back, for them to make choices on what they'd like to do with it as well.
And which countries are you targeting?
There are over 50 countries for which solid fuel use is above 70%.
Wow.
And so as an alliance...
70%, 70.
70. And so as an alliance, we're trying to show that a market-based approach to this effort can work. In other words, we don't need to give away these stoves. It doesn't need to be a traditional aid type of project. We can develop a market because the poor are willing to pay for these stoves once they understand the benefits of these stoves. So there is actually a market out there, and many social entrepreneurs and businesses are engaged in it today. The alliance itself focuses on 6 priority countries, so 4 in Africa, and then Bangladesh and China, and we're likely to add a couple more, namely India and Guatemala. So in those 8 countries, we help develop those markets, we conduct research, we support entrepreneurs, we have awareness-raising campaigns, and importantly, we're developing global standards for clean cooking so that people can evaluate one stove versus another stove and say, gosh, this stove ranks highly for health impact. I'd rather have that because in my country, there's a significant portion of deaths related to cook stove smoke, or the significant deforestation, and another type of stove, maybe just that much more efficient, uses less fuel for every meal that's cooked. So you can make some choices there as well.
And last thing, you mentioned the businesses. Are you finding that public-private partnerships are something that you are looking to increasingly, or is it kind of something of the past these days?
It's very much in the DNA of the Alliance. We are a public-private partnership ourselves. We have over 850 partners today, and the only way this market can work is to have this very intricate kind of combination of public grants to support certain kinds of efforts, investment capital to scale up these enterprises. So they're not producing just 30,000, 20,000 stoves, but hundreds of thousands and millions of stoves, because the market is 500 million households who could use these cleaner and more efficient stoves.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And if people want to learn more, how can they find out more about your organization?
Sure. You can go to our website at www.cleancookstoves.org.